Welcome to Templeway Online. Who is the most courageous person you know? Google defines courage as the ability to do something that frightens us. It's literally like a superpower that we all have, but don't always use. And just like any ability, if we use it, it becomes stronger. But if we don't, eventually our ability and even our desire to be courageous eventually goes away. When we think about the things that frighten us, our mind might jump to things like spiders or heights or cold water. And so for us, being courageous might look like stroking our eight-legged friend or plunging ourselves into deep, cold, freezing water, or maybe even bungee jumping. These are all ways in which we may think that we can challenge or tackle those fears that we've had for so long. While these are all acts of courage, bravery even, not all acts of courage are of the same magnitude. Nevertheless, they still demand the same level of courage. Like not hugging someone when they really want you to, or telling someone how you really are when they ask you how you're doing, or maybe simply telling your story. You see, the thing is, these acts of courage still involve fear. The fear of not being accepted, the fear of being pushed aside, or simply the fear of being branded a liar. A great story that shows just how much they didn't like who Jesus said he was and what Jesus said he was here to do is found in John chapter 5. It's a beautiful story. You see, a man needed healing. He was bedridden and Jesus heals him. That's a good story, right? Well, apparently not. You see, the day he healed the man was problematic, and Jesus should have known that on this day, the Sabbath day, this ain't a time to help people. This is a time to be observed. And so the religious leaders of the time, they approach him, they come to Jesus and they say, Jesus, who do you think you are, brother? Because they're from Atlanta, Georgia, as we've explored in other episodes of Templeway Online. And they approach him and they say, yo, what are you doing? Like, this is not what we do. On Sabbath, we rest. Sabbath is not about working. And Jesus' answer is beautiful. He says, my Father, i.e. God, is always working, even today, and I simply do what my Father does. Now the text goes on to say, after he says that line, this was another reason that they wanted to kill him. I mean, it's a beautiful story that just identifies and highlights when you have the audacity to say who you are, to step into your truth, to tell your truth. If it doesn't line up with what people believe or people want to be true, they will want to kill you. Hopefully not literally, but definitely metaphorically. They will want to kill your reputation, assassinate your character, and leave you on the scrap heap. Nevertheless, Jesus continued to step into this truth, and in doing so is empowering us to do the same. That's why I firmly believe that Jesus understands the plight of those who have been marginalized because they chose to tell the truth. Those who are being or have been oppressed throughout history, even to the point of silencing. He knows it and he gets it. Can you imagine? After plucking up the courage to tell people your story, to face the fear and tell people what's happened to you, about your struggles, about your abuse, about your trauma, and they turn around and confirm your fears to be true? They turn around and feel no way to marginalize you, assassinate your character, and even send you rude emails. Can you imagine? It gets like that though, when you speak your truth. It gets like that. When you insist on being who you are, it gets like that. On International Women's Day 2021, well, actually the day before, one woman decided to come forward and tell her truth. And while the world held their breath, she could finally breathe for the first time. It's an important moment. It's an epic moment, because when someone steps out of the shadows and steps into their truth and is courageous enough, even though fully cognizant, fully aware of the fact that everything that they fear is about to come their way, it gives everyone else just a little bit of courage, just a little bit, to know that maybe they can too. And whilst we know that some people's truth may make us feel uncomfortable, it may make us question the things that we thought we knew about the people that we thought we knew, we should never marginalize them, ostracize them, or push them to the side simply to make ourselves feel better. After all, maybe the greatest act of courage that we can do is choose to believe the victim.